be it in business, be it in cooking, entrepreneurship, you name it. But I still believe that the information is there, it's available in the palm of your hand. So the yearning of wanting to know more is what will set you apart. My name is Nonhlanhla, surname Manganye. I was born Opongolo, grew up in Vryheid. I do a whole lot of things, but I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in the catering business for the past 14 years. I am a qualified journalist. I am a chef. I run my own culinary academy. Kushinda Academy is a fully accredited culinary institution. We are accredited by QCTO and Highfields International. So I've always been a loud and bubbly and very sure kind of girl. This is me the first 6 years of my life. The reason being is because I grew up surrounded by so much love and affirmation. So it was easier. And then I moved from the rural areas of Opongolo, then I moved over to Vryheid. And it's a complete culture shock. It's a complete change for me. I have to adjust in the language. I have to adjust in the way that they dressed, how they articulate themselves, the way that... So there was a whole lot of adjusting that needed to happen. I'm in high school. My parents are strict. I'm trying to just be a typical teenager. So what I decided to do was to buy a packet of chips, like a big packet that has, 50 packets of knickknacks. And I started selling. And I think that's where my entrepreneurial gene was born. Or journey, not gene. Let me say, that's where my entrepreneurial journey was born. And that's when I started being an entrepreneur. So the values that I grew up in are those of love, of kindness, affirming, that's basically has been my backbone in running my business and being an entrepreneur, a very steadfast, very sure, very certain girly that I am. So that's basically what has groomed me, has molded me, and has made me the person that I am. In my journey, I've had to deal with a whole lot of rejection, not only just in the entrepreneurial space, but also just in personal spaces. And kindness is very, very core and very fundamental, because you can break people without even realizing it. But just one kind word can build and groom someone to unleash their fullest potential. So I believe that kindness is very important. If you can be anything, but just be kind. I explained to you that one of the things that I did was selling chips in high school. So it started at physics class, Mr. Stayman. So my friends thought it was quite funny. I wasn't the girly that would typically bring a packet of chips in. So my friends thought it was funny, but by the end of physics, I had already sold that whole packet of chips. But it wasn't only at that time. Then I studied journalism, then I moved over to the SABC. When I got to Johannesburg, the cost of living compared to KZN, it was doubled. And I realized, hey, a girl needs to make a plan, and I need to make sure that I make an extra income. So I decided I'm going to go to downtown Jozi. I'm going to buy bags. I'm going to buy shoes. I'm going to buy stockings. I'm going to buy earrings. And then I'd come and sell it to the Joburg girlies that didn't even know how to maneuver small street. I've been maneuvering the China malls, the whatnot. So it was that's another defining moment. But one of the most defining moments for me was motherhood, when I actually realized that I need to provide for my children. I don't want an average life for them. I don't want them to just get the bare minimum. And that was defining for me, because it pushed me to think outside of my box, to actually take whatever love that I had for cooking, whatever love that I had for running a business, and turn it into something bigger and greater than myself. When a friend of mine asked me, what's your exit strategy when it comes to the caterers? And I didn't have an exit strategy, and I didn't know what to do. And then I didn't have that answer, Guti. So after this, then what? Is this it? So I actually sat down. I come from a family of educators, and I think education comes naturally to me. But also, one of the things that I really wanted to do was to create a space for people that didn't get the formal training um, firsthand. Because for me, my route or my journey wasn't just linear; it wasn't just straight. I had to go through this, I had to go through that, but I wanted to actually say, oh, okay, create this platform for other people. It's doable, and this is how you can do it. And for me, it was like, let's establish an institution that will do exactly that. So when I left the SABC in March of 2018, I thought I had it all figured out. I had my ducks in a row, I had productions lined up that I would cater for. I had already done the budgeting, I knew how much money would come in. So I had calculated it to the T, or so I thought. What happened was the productions were actually moved down 3 months, others a year, others we actually even shot much, much later. So that meant there was no income. There was no income coming from the SABC. There was no income coming from J. What I had to rely fully on was my pension. I used up all my pension, the money finished. And after the money finished, at that same time, I had to go to school. I went to culinary school. That's when I registered to go to culinary school. That's when I was busy training. My children were still around. So I just had to keep it moving because I had no time to fail. I had, like, when it doesn't make sense, when failing is not an option, that's exactly how I felt at that time. I just had to keep it moving. And one of the things that sustained me was my faith. I just knew there was something bigger than myself that was pushing this, that needed to make this happen. I didn't wake up and said, "Oh, I'm starting a company. I'll be the most successful." No, it was just baby steps that led me to this position that I was at, and I needed to truly and honestly believe that he who started the great work in me will see to its fruition. And I had to believe that it was going to happen, and it happened. The fierce attributes that have kept me in the business is that I'm very headstrong, very fierce. Angisabulutho. Like, bring it on. Ekugcineni ngiyathuka. I find myself sitting and shivering, and it's like, I can't believe I just pulled that off. But when a challenge is brought to me, I devour it and fun. What makes me proud is my team just nailing it. Secondly, I cry. I cry a lot just to release each and every emotion and that adrenaline. When the dust has settled and everything has calmed down, that's when you actually realize we've actually pulled off, such a crazy thing. That's when you realize, Guti, we're good at this. We didn't have to doubt ourselves. We don't have to doubt ourselves. And we are amazing. Noma ngabe kuthiwani, noma ngabe siqhamukaphi, we've done it. In terms of trying to access the market, the advice that I would give young people would still reiterate the previous advice that I did, is that with what you have, start. But after starting, you must seek knowledge, you must seek education, you must seek bettering yourself all the time. So it's very important to continuously improve yourself. The nice thing about the space and the time that we live in is that we are in a digital age where we have access to information regardless of the spaces. Everything is in the palm of your hand. And if you really want the information, you'll definitely get it. I know that exposure is important, and that's why part of my biggest drivers is to actually establish programs in rural areas so that people get the exposure to the kind of world that we live in and the kind of the great things that we are actually doing, be it in business, be it in cooking, entrepreneurship, you name it. But I still believe that the information is there, it's available in the palm of your hand. So the yearning of wanting to know more is what will set you apart. Number one, you have to love what you're doing. You have to love the art of cooking. You have to love the combination of flavors. You have to love what comes afterwards, And also, you must be willing to learn new things. It's so interesting that when you look at French cuisine, and then you look at the way that we cook as Africans, Black Africans, there are so many similar things. They call it bone marrow when ubiza ngomkantsha. It's exactly the same thing. You look at how they will braise their meat. On the other side, which when uyaxapisa, uyabilisa, it's exactly the same things. So it's not like it's a foreign concept. It's what you know. It's actually just instilling the confidence in the know, so that people will know that I actually know this, I've got this, and I can actually make something out of it. And then we can speak about how you can monetize it. Teaching how to monetize something is actually far easier than kind of like establishing and actually reassuring the love and affirming, Guti, this is the business that I want to do. I can actually do this. It's already there. It's just about bringing out what is already there. Food has always been a catalyst of community and our, especially in our upbringing. I remember, I'll go back to Opongolo. My grandfather, let me just say my grandparents, my maternal grandparents worked in the Department of Agriculture, and they planted everything that we got growing up was from my grandfather's garden, be it spinach, be it fruits, the mangoes, the guavas, and we knew which season this fruit comes out in and which season that vegetable comes out in. So whatever we had and whatever we consumed was there. But then whatever was surplus, we'd share with the neighboring, with our neighbors. But also, what would happen? It was like a bartering system that was never really spoken about. It was never written. When you go to someone's home, was it, mama sibanibani ngilimile, sengivunile, kunespinach, and then you go there and you sit and whatnot. But another part of that is that food is a huge part of our celebrations. There is no celebration that can happen without food. Food is actually the actual celebration. So when we're sitting together, breaking bread, that's when conversations start. That's when everybody's happy and everything, all the love from inside just automatically bubbles out just because of food. So this is why also when it comes to farming, the issue of land, the issue of many things, it's deeper than just land, farming, and that. It's just that sense of community, that sense of love, and that sense of family. Why I think it's important to create that ecosystem is because you never know who it's going to help. You never know, in that ecosystem, it may come back to you. That's why it's very important to respect each and every individual that you come across, because you never know ukuthi kusasa bazobe bekuphi. Those are the same people that will open doors for you. Those are the same people that will save your children's life. Those are the same people that in generations to come, their children and children's children will be part of your children's life. Do you get what I mean? So it's very important to create that ecosystem, because at the end of the day, it will come and benefit you. I think it's really important to invest in young people because they still have the energy, they still have the time, they are so creative, they're fierce, they're not scared of anything, they've got that fire in them. I started my business when I was very young, and I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared that I'm going to fail. I wasn't scared that my children I didn't have children when I started. So it's so much easier because young people can take risks that us cannot. Yeah, I think that's just the main thing. How I play my part is that first and foremost, I'm a mom. I'm a nurturer, I'm a caregiver, and that basically comes out in my business and in the way that I do things. I know that most of the time they always say we mustn't run business with a feminine energy, but that's how I know how to run. That's the best way that I know how to run my business, not any other way. And I've tried to run it manly. I've tried to be hard, and it just doesn't resonate with me, and it doesn't give me what I want it to give me. My business puts food on people's tables. My business gives life. My business has taken children to university. My business has made a difference, not only in my life, but the lives of so many. It's a whole ecosystem out there, and I'm grateful to be part of that ecosystem that does amazing things. I really hope that my work speaks for itself, and the strides that I'm taking are just enough. I hope that it fills my cup and makes me believe honestly that I'm more than enough.